Hello and welcome to all you Pisceans out there. This is your monthly horoscope for Pisces for the month of October 2021. And what is going on for our dear Pisceans? Well, a very kind of over focus, you could say, on your eighth house. And normally for most people, that is not the easiest house to navigate through, but for the Piscean, it's like that, right? It's a fellow water house. The eighth house is the house of the Scorpio. So for you Pisceans, it's a little bit easier to swim through those waters of the eighth house. There's a lot of energy there on not only it is personal planets, but also there's a Mercury retrograde going on in that house. Now, first of all, what is this all about? The eighth house is a deep psychological house, so it can have to do with facing fears, going through fears, facing the process of death and rebirth. But for some of you, it's also a financial house. So it has to do with investments, with loans, inheritances, and all of that. So money of other people, not your money that you gain yourself, but money of insurances or loans and etc. Or that you share with another person, shared resources. So there is a huge emphasis on those those areas of life, and there is a huge chance for transformation. So a huge chance, that's a difficult thing, a huge chance for, you could say, leveling up on one of these areas. So let's break this down. This is first of all, it has to do, Mars is in there. It's a bit of a weird place to be for Mars because it's a hidden house. It doesn't show itself so much. So a lot of people, they could not know what you're dealing with. I mean, what you're doing at the moment. And again, you're dealing with psychological insights, the themes of death and rebirth, the themes of finances. So it doesn't have to be like, oh, you're doing some secret things there. Could be for some of you. You know, Mars in the eighth house can be a bit of, doing things in secrecy. But anyway, it doesn't always have to be negative, right? You can prepare yourself for things and you can transform and face your fears. That's the positive of that eighth house as well. Now, Mercury is there as well. So, and it goes in that Libra house of yours, and it goes direct on the 19th. And then it's out of its shadow around the first week of November. So you will see everything that has to do, by the way, by contracts and, signing for loans, for real estate, whatever, all these important contracts that you do with other people as well, or with a business partner. Do them if you can, of course, after the 19th of the month, and even better after the first week of November. Of course, we have to live our lives, and if you have to sign a contract around the 3rd of the month, it's okay, but be aware of it, that you will probably, there are some things that you will have to adjust, and but you're strong enough to deal with that, right? I mean, we're not God. We don't have to try to manage everything. Just we do what we can do. And so a lot of Pisceans are going to gain their strength and to gain their power back, so to speak, through going through these stages and through these challenges that are going to be presented in their life. I say challenges, why? Because although all this energy in your 8th house is trining Jupiter in the 12th house, which means that you kind of are supported, you could say, from the unconscious. Your unconsciousness is helping you. And but there's definitely a trigger when it comes to the 11th house. Pluto is in your 11th house, so that could be friends, or it could be like-minded people, so friends, but also it could be your plans for the future. So there is something between that money area of your life, or that your you could say being open for other people's values and resources, versus the trigger of transformation that considers friends and that considers your objectives for the future. So, for instance, one of these things could be, and it's all about truthfulness and honesty. You know, if you want to handle Pluto at its best, it's by integrity. I mean, the further away you go, like Neptune, Pluto, of course, always, but typically Pluto, when you're doing things with a hidden agenda, or when other people are going to do things with a hidden agenda, and you're going to see it, you know, it's going to pop up in the long run. So be aware of your integrity. When it comes to friendships, for instance, you could want to loan, or maybe you want to do something for your business, you want to launch something, and you borrow money from a friend, and you're not putting enough boundaries there, and you haven't put it on paper, and then that friend misuses you, right? They say, oh, but I have to have a 10% interest or something like that. Anything like that. Or the other way around, you misuse them. You say, yeah, I'm going to pay it back, and you can't. So put something, it's a lot about the integrity here that is going to be tested. That is one particular explanation here. It can be thousands of other things, you know. It can be related to your objectives. Maybe you're getting some money there out of an inheritance, for instance. Be aware of using it well, and with the most of integrity that you have. The core, respect your core values, whatever they are. You know, they all are different. Well, not all, but we have different core values. But respect them, because otherwise, it's gonna be destructive with this Pluto square to your 8th house. So, for instance, you have a bit of money that you get from other people. Use it wisely for an objective that you have for the future, for a goal that you have in the future. If you don't have a hidden agenda in that, you can't do anything wrong. You're just doing your best. That's basically it. But these are these energies. These are not like life-changing energies at all. Not at all. But they can help you to strengthen your future, basically, because Pluto is in your 11th house. That's the house of the future. Now, another thing that is going on for you is just the end of the week, but it's an interesting aspect, especially because you are a mutable sign. Venus, the planet of love, the planet of attraction, the planet of connection, the planet of balance as well, and of beauty, is squaring up to Neptune. And this is significant for you because Neptune is in your 1st house, and Venus is there in the 10th house of work. Again, there's something about that last week, especially around the 27th, that you can really do this with other people. So be aware of that, because Neptune is in your sign. So that could, again, with all this Plutonian energy, if you want to do this with an agenda and manipulate others, it's going to backfire for sure. But you might do it unconsciously, and other people, you don't have power over what other people think of you. So the only thing that you can do is be as clear as you can. And it can be in the workplace. So be aware that last week that you follow, again, your integrity, about being very honest about who you are. For instance, let's say that you have a job interview around that last week. You are going to be really very appealing for that company, or whoever wants to hire you. So be aware that you can deliver what you're showing. That's basically it. If you say, yeah, but I have those qualities, I can speak French very easily. Yes, it's very... oui, je parle français avec beaucoup de la patati patata. If it's not your thing, be honest. You know, it's about that. If you're being honest, and they will even be charmed by your honesty and still hire you. In some cases, not in all cases. It depends on their situation. But anyway, be honest in the way that you present yourself, and you cannot go wrong. And that could also mean by, if you're single, for instance, you could meet someone at work, and there could be some love story going on there. Again, be aware of, have the feet on the ground, dear Piscean. And and present yourself in the most honest way as you can be, but also see other people in their true self. So because that's typical when you have some planets in Pisces, especially Venus in Pisces, these people, they only see the good in others, which is fantastic, of course. I mean, that's unconditional love, but be aware that people are also the bad, the good, and the ugly. It's human. And but it's a lovely energy. Use it in a bit. Having a bit of magic in your life is so important for all of us, not only for the Pisceans. Having said that, enjoy it. Enjoy that beautiful, lovely Venusian, Neptunian energy at the end of the week, and have a very good month. Bye bye.